in Project 2 in the Advanced Communication Manual, Communicating on Video, the interview show. The objectives of this speech are as follows: to understand the dynamics of an interview or talk show, to prepare questions you may have asked during the interview program, to present a positive image on camera, to appear as a guest on a simulated talk show. To fit within the confines of the goals of the Toastmasters Leadership Club, Ed will interview Cindy Laatsch regarding her experience as an area and division governor. Please welcome Ed Thelen.
Well, welcome to Toastmasters Saturday at the DEC. My guest today is Ed Thelen. Ed, good to see you.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I've been a Toastmaster for 14 years. I've served 1 year as an area governor, and last year I served as the division governor for the Metro Division.
That's really interesting because having served as both an area governor and a division governor, can you give me 2 words that come to your mind that describe that experience?
Yes, I can come up with 2 words. The first word I would say is growth. Being an area governor especially, it's usually the first time that you are stepping outside the comfort zone of your club. You're having to interact with other clubs, and therefore I feel you're growing in your Toastmasters experience because you're moving out of the comfort zone of the club. I know when I first joined, I said I was only going to do things in my club. I really wasn't going to do anything else, and eventually through not only being an area governor, but through contests and other Toastmasters events, that really set the tone for growth, especially within Toastmasters, but I believe outside of Toastmasters, because it gave me the confidence to do things outside of Toastmasters as well, or to volunteer to take on other roles. The other word I would say is challenge. There have definitely been some challenging experiences, both being an area and division governor. I'd actually have to say one of the most challenging experiences that comes to mind was when I was an area governor during one of the speech contests. There was some protesting by one of the contestants and members of their club as far as the results of the contest. I had to be confident in my abilities as area governor, knowing that I had picked judges that met the requirements of being a judge. I had one long time, at the time it was Conflict Toastmaster versus Conflict Communicator, and everyone else that was a judge for the contest had an Advanced Communicator award, so I knew I had judges that were experienced. It actually went to the level where I had Norm Meyer, our international director, call me just to sort of certify that I felt the contest was held in the spirit that the contest should have been held, and I said yes, and that seemed to satisfy all parties.
When you look at something like that, which could be stressful, it's stressful for the people in the contest, it's stressful for you as well, what do you think was one of the skills you brought to that where you could deliver that message effectively?
I think from having confidence from getting up to do the speeches, I think that allowed me to present myself in a calm and confident manner whenever I was being asked questions related to the judging and the results. And I believe that, especially for the experienced Toastmasters, they respected that with me, that they knew I was comfortable and I had done the homework to get the job done.
And we're comfortable. I don't know about you, but time management is always a problem for me. We tend to overcommit when we're people that want to learn and grow. We tend to want to always overcommit. Looking at what you've learned as an area or division governor, do you have any tips on time management that you either went into the job with or came out with?
I would probably give 2 quick tips on time management. The first one would actually be delegation. I think there are Toastmasters that are always willing to volunteer to serve in certain roles, whether it be for a contest or for a Toastmasters Leadership Institute, which is our officer training vehicle. However, they don't always know who to go to or how they can get involved. I think part of that for the area and division governors to introduce themselves, to make themselves available, and hopefully those that have been in the club kind of know how to reach out to those people as well. I would just say making sure you plan your calendar in advance is important. For example, for last summer's TLI, the club got notification 2 months in advance of when the training was held. I had periodic notifications on my own personal calendar to remind people those dates. As a result, we had 80 Toastmasters come to the officer training, which was the highest attendance that I had.
Excellent. Speaking of that whole training and TLI experience, how did you, as the division governor, how did you know that you had had success when a training experience ended?
First of all, I had evaluation forms. Thankfully, that told me how well the speakers tended to do, and from the most part, I got very positive feedback. I think, personally, I've been in Toastmasters long enough that people feel comfortable enough approaching me and just giving me personal feedback that, hey, this was really great training, or even if they have some small suggestions for constructive feedback, hey, maybe this could have been done a little better. I feel I tend to be open to ideas because I think things can always be done better than they have, even if they were labeled a success.
So if someone came to you and said, hey, I've got an idea, or I really didn't like that, or I felt this was not good for me, how did you act at that time?
I would probably, I would respond in the manner that's saying, hey, that is something to be under consideration. I may not be the appropriate individual to make that determination. Being a division governor, that might be something above my level, so please let me get you in contact with those people if it's some idea that will require authorization above area or division governor level. If it's something that can be immediately implemented, then it'll be like, hey, I'll keep that in mind for the next time the training rolls around. If it's the main training, we could possibly even implement it during a backup for a quick response.
Excellent. When you were an area governor and you became a division governor, was there something you wished you would have known before you took that role?
I probably would say there's one thing I might have liked known differently. I think there's a little bit different focus between an area governor and a division governor. The area governor really needs to work directly with the clubs to help them improve and become distinguished. I felt my role as division governor was more one club building because that was part of the recognition program, but it just felt like a different sense of what should be accomplished, even though I feel individual goals in Toastmasters apply to club goals, which apply to area and division goals. I think that the new recognition program, that everyone's goals are going to be in alignment where we're really focusing on distinguished clubs.
Well, thank you, Ed. Lots of good information. Thanks for sharing.